Hi, I'm Dan Salem. I'm here with production designer Seth Reed.
My name is Seth, and I was an architect for many years before I switched and became an art director. My first movie was Tombstone many years ago, actually.
So what are some of your fondest projects over the course of your career?
Well, I mean, there's different definitions, but if you want to call for crazy and exciting and outrageous, I would say Miami Vice with Michael Mann directing and being all over the world, Dominican Republic and Paraguay and Brazil and all these places shooting for excitement.
Okay.
Probably my favorite project for sort of the quality of the project, even though it was a small project, would be Cosmos, the TV show. So those projects, those episodes with that material were something I'll always be proud of.
So can you take us through the process a little bit of picking locations to scout for a given project?
Sure. This project that I'm on right now, which I can't actually say the name of it, but I'll tell you that it's about the conflict in Iraq, is a very good project example because we've got to duplicate Iraq here in the United States.
Oh.
And how are we going to do that? Well, it takes a lot of research and a lot of location scouting, finding very specific elements that we can tie in together. And obviously there's a combination of building and painting and set dressing to fill it out.
Do you prefer working on TV over film? Do they vary?
That's such a great question. Such a great question. Right now, I'm sure we all know this, but the quality of material in TV is incredible.
Yeah.
So watching some of the TV shows that are coming out right now, the scripts, the material.
Yeah.
So really right now I prefer TV because I really feel that that's where the energy is and all the good creativity is right here.
Can you talk a little bit about Shut-Eye and working for Hulu and how that came about?
Sure. There's some projects I get to be in on from the very start, and the one I'm working on now, or Cosmos, those are projects that I got to do. Sometimes though, and this happens to everybody, something goes slightly wrong in the production and they need another person to come in and help.
Yeah.
So that happened for me on Shut-Eye, and essentially came into the project in the end of episode 2 and really had to figure things out really quickly. I think we came out with a great product. It's a great script. I was very close with the showrunner and all the producers, and we had a really great creative experience.
Nice.
I would say between building a set and going and finding a location, it really depends on what we're trying to accomplish. For example, we set up, for episode 3, we set up a psychic's studio or psychic's shop on a beautiful street in Mount Pleasant, which is in Vancouver, playing as Los Angeles, and we found a great street to do it. So in that case, I would have it no other way because we can bring the audience, we can bring the characters in from the street, we can take a great look at the street and then come in and we really feel like we're part of the fabric of the city.
Yeah.
But it depends, and sometimes you want to build a set because maybe you want to examine the characters more carefully from a lot of different angles. A little bit of research on it, some sketches, a little bit of model shots, early illustration of him in there. Here he is, here's a screen cap where he's actually in the space. But we actually only built a few things.
So you've been nominated for your work.
Yes.
What's that like to be recognized?
Nervous, very nervous. You're sitting there like everybody's going like that, and then Game of Thrones wins, and you're like,
oh yes.
When will that be over? I love it, but when will it be over? I would love to win. We've won ADG awards many years ago. I was on a project, but I'd love to win, and I know that some people are helping us right now try to get nominated for something this year.
Oh, very nice. So you obviously have a passion for sci-fi. You've worked on Expanse as well, and Supergirl's not sci-fi, but it's fantastical. Is that one of your first choices when it comes to a show? Or?
Yes. I always read sci-fi books as a kid. I just bought Arrival to read the book before I see the movie, and I think sci-fi for me is an opportunity to tell a parable or a story that relates to the real world, but I get to use my imagination.
Yeah.
And of course, my favorite sci-fi is science-based sci-fi. That's what I really love the most. So if I'm telling sci-fi, I love it where we really talk about what gravity is, or we really talk about how spaceflight works. The Expanse, as a working situation and a great project with two really fantastic writers, probably the best thing I've worked on.
I've read the book, so I haven't watched the show yet.
It's proud of the sets.
It's a great world, though.
Yeah, it's a great world. We got to invent a whole new world, and the sets are amazing. And I know that many of the sets continued through, so I got to sort of like lay down a legacy for what this whole world looked like.
Is there specific advice you'd give to someone that would like to start being a production designer, get into the film and art world?
Sure, yeah, of course, yes. There's his advice. First advice is be persistent and don't give up. Second of all, don't go too fast. All along the way is the process of growing and learning and gaining experience, and there's no rush. Yeah. Enjoy the process. To work in the art department specifically takes a lot of training. And that's where, let's say, being an architect or being a theatrical set designer is extremely helpful, because you have to know how to sketch and make drawings and stuff, and you have to, nowadays you really need to have serious digital skills. Yeah. And none of that is easy. It takes time, and it's specialized. So I can be found on Seth Reed Studio at Twitter, Seth Reed Studio on Instagram, and we have a really cool site where all kinds of images of all the work that's been happening. And then, of course, one could always go to my website, SethReedStudio.com.
Very nice. And the shows are on Hulu and
shows are on Hulu and CW and Sci-Fi Channel, soon to be National Geographic also, and Fox, all kinds of stuff.
Excellent. Well, thank you. This was very
nice. My pleasure, Dan.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Tune back in.
More from Mandy and Dan
on BuzzChomp.
Subscribe.
Oh yeah, thank you.